I began my Red Cross career in June 1996. Normally when you go out on disasters, you get to help a lot of people, and I think that's important too. There's a lot of damage in Houston. There's a lot of damage in Galveston Island, so it's pretty spread out. There was a lot of devastation in that area too, so it was shocking. It was really shocking to see it. I had not been out in one that was targeted as what they call a mass care disaster. And that means we're doing primarily the food, shelter, bulk distribution, and mental health.
It was a much larger scale than what I had been used to, but this was pretty much an all hands on deck to get out as many people, to assist as many people as we could. Everyone was very grateful. They were thanking us for being there, thanking us for the support, not only for the actual supplies that we were giving them, but just for the fact that we cared, that we were there. And the fact that we were able to pretty well disperse it into individual neighborhoods around the community made it much more convenient for the people to get their supplies, and they seemed so appreciative of it that it made me very grateful to be able to do it for them.
Before the accident, I worked for GE Aviation as an engineer. I liked to play paintball, play soccer, do kind of any outdoor sports I could get around to, and I liked to ride motorcycles too.
My family and some friends of the family were going on vacation to Florida, and we were driving through Tennessee.
It was on Friday, so it was the end of the week. Had a normal work day, and then met up with a couple of my friends to start driving.
It was about 10:30 at night, and we decided to take a break from driving.
It's kind of a long day already when we were getting moving.
We radioed to my son. He was in front in a truck. We were in the van, and we just told him, hey, pull over, next chance you get. He heard some motorcycles up on 75. The accident happened, and he just said, Dad, something happened up there.
The day of, I remember up to stopping, getting dinner. So we'd been driving for a couple hours already, and then getting back on the road. That's about where my memory of the incident stops.
And when we got up there, Dave was just laying there underneath the guardrail. He was open from his belly button to his armpit. Everything was just hanging out.
And it was actually his friend Tommy on the other end of the phone. And it was one of those moments where I sat there in that, split second and thought about why else Tommy would be calling from Dave's cell phone. And then he said Dave was in an accident.
Most of his insides were laying on the ground. And I just took it along with his jacket, used that as a barrier, and tried to push everything to hold him together. And I learned that through having first aid and CPR classes for the last 13 years. They've been through the Red Cross. I stayed within my training, and I just done what you would hope anybody would do.
And found out that he was in surgery and he was in critical condition. They took us into one of those little side rooms, and the doctor sat down and said, we're just trying to keep him alive till his parents get here. Not too long after Dave's parents and sister got there, Tommy said that the two guys that had saved Dave's life had given them their name and phone number.
And I told his mom, I said, you're my hero, you saved my baby and all this. Well, maybe I am a hero to her. She asked me what she could do for me. And I just said, you go take a class in first aid and CPR through the Red Cross, and when it's your time to help someone, then you do what you're trained to do and you help someone.
The fact that they were able to use their training and keep him together until he got to the hospital is amazing. We heard that over and over and over again, like if those guys hadn't been there, he wouldn't have made it, so.
Well, I've been working with the Red Cross since 1997 with the floods. Never know, it could be middle of the day, it could be middle of the night, it could be 95 degrees or 5 below zero. We don't plan disasters, they happen. And we respond to whatever and whenever, wherever it is.
My phone started ringing, which was unusual unless something was wrong. Well, it was Jordan's stepmom, and are the boys okay? They were okay when I left. What do you mean, are they okay? Well, didn't you know your house is on fire?
911, what's the address of the emergency?
There's a fire on Route 50. Come on, please.
Is everybody out of the house?
No! We're stuck in the house.
Where are you at inside the house?
Me and my little brother are in the bathroom. I don't know if
Is there any way you can get out?
No, I don't think so.
The only thing I knew, she did tell me that one of the kids had to jump out the window. I did not know that all 4 had to jump to get out of the house.
Is there any way you guys can get down?
I don't know. I don't know. I think we're going to have to jump out. It's a 2-story house. Please.
Well, I opened up the door and then the smoke hit me. Swallowing the smoke was just like swallowing water. You could not breathe at all.
The fire had spread so rapidly, the fire department was not able to go inside and fight the fire. The roof had collapsed actually all the way into the first floor. The people displaced by the fire were in a United Dairy Farmers convenience store across the street from the house that had burned.
And I walked in and just seen the kids, and poor little Matt was no clothes and completely covered in soot. I mean, you almost couldn't tell who he was.
And we focus on 3 things: shelter, clothing, and food.
You know, they gave them sweatsuits to put on and socks, dry socks, because there was snow on the ground. Their feet were wet. They helped me get my medicine, mine and my husband's medicines refilled.
People watch television, they see hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, fires, and they consider that as a disaster. A single family home, if it burns down, to that family, that's a disaster.
You hope you never have to utilize them, but thank God they're there.